And you know, for lack of a better word, Jesus struggled to explain the spiritual using the natural. I can imagine how he must have struggled. He will say, the kingdom of God is likened unto 10 virgins. Okay? Jesus crossed over in the natural. Look at John chapter 10 verse 6. These parables spake Jesus unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. The word parable in John is not the same word parabole. The parable of the sheepfold and the shepherd. Parable here is paroimai. You will find that same usage in John 16:25. Please pay attention. These things have I spoken unto you in Proverbs. But the time cometh when I shall no more speak unto you in Proverbs, but I shall show you plainly of the Father. Look at verse 29 of the same John 16. His disciples said unto him, Lo, now speakest thou plainly, and speakest no proverb. Look at the next verse. Now are we sure that thou knowest all things, and needest not that any man should ask thee. By this we believe that thou camest forth from God. So that shows you that in parables or proverbs, as the case is, the truth can never be plain. There is no revelation in parables. The best you have in a parable is a comparison, not revelation. You will see that word proverb used again in 2 Peter 2:22. But it's happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. Proverb. Now, so go back to Matthew 13:34. Let's look at the use of parables, or the perfect way Jesus explained it. All these things spake Jesus unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spake he not unto them. 35. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. Did you observe? He didn't say, I will reveal them to you. He said, I will utter. There is a difference between I will reveal and I will utter them. If I utter secrets, what am I uttering? Huh? If I utter secrets, what am I uttering? Secrets. If I utter secrets, what is the content of my utterance? Secrets. So that I uttered secrets doesn't mean they are revealed. So he said he will open his mouth and he will utter secrets. That's why you can't find revelation in secrets or in parables. Now, pay attention. Whose words were those? Don't forget, they were the words of Matthew concerning Jesus. Where did Matthew get that Matthew chapter 13? Where did he quote it from? Psalm 78 verse 2. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old. So the prophet has already said to us that a parable is a dark saying. A parable is a dark saying, which means the truth is not in a parable. Look at that Psalm 78 verse 2 to 3 again. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old. Verse 3. Which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. So again, he now communicates how that the Old Testament is called a mystery. Again, the word dark sayings is the word chida in the Hebrew. Chida is the word riddle, used 17 times. The word riddle. The word parable is the word mashal in the Hebrew. M-A-S-H-A-L. Mashal. Used 38 times in the Hebrew. Proverb. Mashal. The word chida is the word riddle. Riddle and jokes. Riddle, riddle. I go to school every morning, but I am not a student. What am I? Eh? Teacher. That's one. Teacher. School bus. That's two. So a riddle can have many meanings. That's why you can't have revelation in a parable. For example, they answered me teacher, but what I heard is boss, school boss. School boss goes every day, but it is not a student. Teacher also goes every day, but it's not a student. And there may be other meanings coming. Exercise book, biro, ruler, lunchbox, school uniform. So one parable can be interpreted in many ways. That is why people can use Jesus' parable to teach business principles. They can use Jesus' parable to teach agriculture. But what Jesus was teaching was not agriculture, and it was not business principles. It's a mode of communication, but if you don't have understanding, you will stay in the natural. Like Nicodemus stayed in the natural, and Jesus was showing him spirit. He was thinking of how he will enter his mother's stomach. So parables are riddles. That's why people get angry when we say what Jesus was teaching is not business. The Bible is not a business book. The Bible is a book of Jesus. Those parables were a mode of communication with natural men. Are ye also without understanding? Most of the principles Jesus even taught in his parable of talents, a real businessman will fault them. A real businessman will fault some of those principles, because it was not a business class. It was just a comparison. What he was looking for is not the principles of the business. It was an aspect of it that can help him to communicate his lecture. So Jesus must have really struggled communicating with these people. I mean, I'm looking at today, we have men that are born of the Spirit, and we do a 13-week series teaching 30 hours on salvation cannot be lost. And a born-again believer, a preacher of the gospel, will look at you after 30 hours of teaching on eternal salvation. Are you now saying this man is born again? He's a minister of the gospel with a collar and a cassock. He has been preaching all his life, and he hears 30 hours teaching, and he says, are you now saying? Then you can imagine how Jesus must have suffered in the hands of men that are not born again. No wonder he